Hey everybody. So, we have been staying at the Grand Californian Resort, Hotel, and Spa. This time, we brought along Lila, our 9-year-old. She's right over there, listening to her audiobook. This, unfortunately, is our last morning here. And we took some content that went on Instagram and shorts and stuff like that, so you'll see that. But I wanted to do a video talking about what it's like to come here with our 9-year-old, our big kid, if you will. Kind of some tips and tricks and almost like review type talking about what our experience has been like here. Because we stayed here recently, just Celeste and I, and it was wonderful, delightful. It was also wonderful this time, but it's different coming as a couple than coming with a kid. So, we checked in on Sunday, earlier in the day. Like most hotels, check-in isn't until 4 o'clock, but we got here at like 12:30, maybe just before 1, and our room was ready, which was great. We were prepared, in any case, if it wasn't ready, we had a pool bag, so if it wasn't ready, we could check our luggage at the front, which is totally cool with them. They were willing to give us keys right away so we could get into the pool area, and we were gonna hang out by the pool until our room was ready, but crisis averted. We didn't have to do any of that. It was perfectly, like, our room was just ready for us when we arrived, which they were great about. So we booked I think it's like a woods view room, just a relatively basic room for here, and it's great. 2 queen beds, which was perfect for us. And yeah, day 1 was fantastic. We literally just hung out by the pool. We ordered food out here. We swam. We had a great time. We didn't have park entry that day because our passes were blacked out on that Sunday, which was fine. It made it like more relaxing, frankly, to just spend an afternoon out by the pool. We have passes, so going to the park is like normal for us. Staying here is not. So anyway, the next morning had early entry. Now, that's one of the biggest things that is an advantage to staying in the Grand Californian or any of these hotels on property at Disney. And we had never done early entry before. That was new to us. So, luckily, yesterday, day 1 of early entry, was for California Adventure. California Adventure was cake to do early entry at. It was awesome. We literally, I got us coffee from Starbucks, which was simple and easy. Walked into downtown Disney from the Grand Californian entrance to it, grabbed the Starbucks, brought it up to the girls, and then just before 7:30 we headed down. 7:30 is when you get your early entry. So I saw that there was a big line at the park entrance inside of Grand Californian, but I knew the downtown Disney entrance didn't have a big line. So we walked over, went through downtown Disney, went right through the gates into California Adventure, and we were in like just after 7:30, right after they'd opened it for us with early entry anyways. So we got to get on Guardians with like way less wait than you would have any other time in the day. When I checked yesterday evening, it was literally a 2-hour wait, and we got on it in like 20 minutes or something. So that was great. We wanted to do the Cars ride. Pro tip, at least on the day we were here, I don't know if this is every time, but it seems like it's their policy. That ride didn't open until 8 anyways, so early entry does nothing for you if you want to get on the Cars ride, so save yourself the time. We would have been faster in line on Guardians if we hadn't gone to the Cars ride first. Radiator Springs, I should say. Anyway, so we did Guardians. It was a blast. That's like a favorite for all 3 of us. And then we actually literally got in just in the first like 2 hours of the morning while the park was still like quiet and spread out. We got in, I think, 6 rides. Yeah, we did Guardians, then we went on Incredicoaster, which was also quick, and then we went on Lila, what was after Incredicoaster yesterday? We went from Incredicoaster to Ariel, and then from Ariel to Goofy's Sky School, then from Goofy's Sky School to Symphony Swings, and then we ended on Soarin'. And we literally did all of that before like 10 o'clock, before the park was even that busy, which was awesome. So then we came back to the hotel, and we had booked the Storytellers Cafe like character breakfast. Pro tip, this just happenstance. We knew we weren't going to be like hungry early. We're not like early breakfast people usually. So we booked an 11:15. We got there at like 10:45. We were early, So we asked them if we could check in early. They were great about it, said yes. They said they'd text us in a few minutes, and they did. So we were sitting down at the Storytellers Cafe character breakfast just before 11, and it was perfect timing because they had all the breakfast spread out when we arrived and we're getting our first plates, and then they were transitioning to lunch as we were eating. So we started with a breakfast buffet and then ended with a lunch buffet. So we had like double the amount of buffet food that most people get if you go earlier. And we were kind of brunching it anyways. It was perfect. So we had brunch there. We met all the characters that they have there. There's 5 characters, I think. Mickey and Minnie. Then there's Pluto, and then Chip and Dale. So all of them came by the table. All of them took pictures and videos with Lila and Celeste, and it was great. Chip and Dale shook my hand. What is that? It was super fun. So we did that. It was a great experience. And then literally yesterday, from after breakfast until late evening, we came back out here by the pool. This pool is so clutch. Hold on, our food's arriving. I'm gonna take a quick pause. Okay, for real though, look at that food. Okay, so this food is a perfect explanation of why this is so great. We literally, last time Celeste and I came here, and then this time with Lila, have claimed this same spot by the pool, which is shaded all day because there's multiple umbrellas. So you might have to like move them or yourself slightly throughout the day as the sun moves, but there's shade all day. We're right by one of the calmer pools, which is also a perfect depth for Lila to be able to swim in it alone. Not only because it's great depth, but it's also right in front of us. And this lifeguard is right here. So this whole pool is like, this whole pool is clutch. It's money for Lila to be able to swim in. So she's allowed to get in and out of the pool as much as she wants the whole time that we're sitting here. The pool with the water slide is just beyond this one. So either of us can take her over there. Yesterday we had her cousins come and meet us here, and with her older cousin who's about to be a teenager, they were allowed to go over there. So Celeste and I can literally just relax here all day, read our books. She's listening to audiobooks. Celeste took a nap yesterday. We've been ordering pina coladas. Lila got her first virgin pina colada, loved it. They can make her Shirley Temple out here. They've got these great mocktails. They've got a bunch of cocktails. There's a great beer that I like. It's like an orange wheat beer. That was fantastic. So the food is great. The drinks are great. The service is awesome. And they just check on you. They bring you stuff. If you're here for most of the day, you'll notice sometimes you get lucky too, and they come around with a little cart, either with watermelon or with popsicles that are complimentary. They're just handing them out for people here at the pool. So the pool is like the biggest win for us. We love it out here. If you're here with a big kid, this pool area is a hit because there's this little pool, a big hot tub next to us, small hot tub right over there, bigger pool with the water slide in it, and there's a tiny slide for little ones. And then there's another large pool without any slides, but like great for swimming, and it seems like bigger kids or like teenagers even kind of hang out in there more. But so many options, so much room, tons of lounging area. We've gotten really lucky that literally every time we've come and sat out here, we've been able to get this spot. Okay, so this morning we had early entry to Disneyland. Now this is where this is gonna get important and you're gonna wanna listen so you can save yourself some of the frustration that we had this morning. I don't know if it's always like this. Like I said, yesterday going into into California Adventure from the Grand California, it was easy, especially because we went through downtown Disney. So going through security, there was virtually no line. We walked right into security, got checked, went through downtown Disney, and then we were able to go in the front entrance of the park, no problem, smooth sailing. There was a line yesterday that we avoided at the park entrance from in the hotel that was longer for security, but probably was no more than 10 or 15 minutes. Today, let me just walk you through how my morning went. So I ordered us coffee from Starbucks because the hotel coffee here in the Grand Californian is meh at best, according to me. Some people might love it. It's not my favorite. Starbucks isn't even like my favorite in the world, but it's the best option that's close and accessible. So when we stay here, Starbucks opens at 7. I'm up before that anyways. At 7 o'clock, I place a mobile order and I walk down and I get it. Easy peasy. The Starbucks is really accustomed to mobile orders. They're great at filtering people here at this one. So it's like quick and efficient. That's exactly what I did yesterday. This morning, I placed our order at 7 a.m. as I was coming down the elevator and headed towards the downtown Disney entrance, and I got to the downtown Disney entrance, and there was a giant line for that security checkpoint, because at Disneyland, that's the only way to go to Disneyland from here. You have to go through downtown Disney. So everybody was trying to get there for early entry. So I'm like, not gonna wait in this line for 20 minutes without the girls and then have to come back and go through security again. So I was like, I'll run up and get the girls, we'll get ready real quick, and then we'll come down. We got down at like 7:20, and the line had grown to the point where it was past the hotel lobby and outside into the patio of one of the restaurants, and starting to hit like a dirt path to get through security for downtown Disney because of early entry. So we thought like, okay, hopefully they'll at least move this line quickly and we'll still get some of our early entry. Not the case. We didn't get in the park until about 8:30 because that line took almost an hour, and then we had to walk from there, grab our drinks at Starbucks, which luckily they were really cool, and when I picked them up, they remade them without even asking. They were like, these have been sitting for too long, we're going to remake them for you. So that was great. But then we had to go and actually get in the park, and when we got in the park, frankly, it was still not quite as slow as like 7:30 early entry slow, but it was still a slower time in the park. So the first ride we did was Big Thunder, and we got on it in like 10 minutes. It's great for Big Thunder. So it was still nice that we were in there early. However, had I known that that security line was going to take us an hour to get through, I would have waited until it died down rather than stand in a line inside of the hotel. It's just a bummer of the infrastructure. It might be that there were more people trying to take advantage of early entry today than normal. I don't know if that's the case, because this is the only time we've done that from in the Grand Californian, and it was horrific to try to get into downtown Disney at that time of day. You might as well just wait until like 8:15, and then I bet it would be a breeze to go through, and we were that late getting into the park anyways. So anyway, I don't know what they could even do about that. That was just our experience. So VIP early entry to the park, super worth it for Grand California, or for California Adventure. Sorry, I keep conflating those two terms. For California Adventure, highly recommend using the early park entry. For Disneyland, I would skip it if we were doing this again. They alternate every other day. So if it's like Monday is California Adventure, then Tuesday is Disneyland, and back and forth and back and forth. So if you're staying here for multiple days, like, still go to the park earlier in the day, because it gets progressively busy. More and more people are arriving in the parking structure and in the main park entrance over time. But if you're walking in shortly after the park opened, lines are still going to be pretty short. The only way that I think it would make great sense to take advantage of the early park entry for Disneyland would be if you lined up early in the morning, like 6:30, 6:45. But that seems like a big inconvenience for like the VIP early entry, to have to line up before the early entry begins by almost an hour just to actually take advantage of the early entry. But that's the way Disneyland works. There's lines, and you got to be early to make it work. So if you really want to take advantage of it, then the security guards, I think this morning, were saying that they let people start lining up 6:30, 6:45 for that security clearance line. So you could do that if you really want to take advantage of it. Or maybe you're lucky and you're here at a less busy time than we are. This is the week that school has started for most kids, so we thought it was going to be slow. It is not. I think there's a lot of international people here. I've heard a lot of different languages being spoken in the park and the hotel. So maybe a lot of people have the same idea as us, where it's like, oh, our kid starts a little later than most, we'll take advantage of this last moment. Not the case here. It was a busier day in the parks than a lot of the days of like peak summertime that we've come. But I don't know, if you're coming in a non-peak time, then it could be totally different. So take that for what it's worth. But I think it's been rad being here with a big kid. I think it's been like, it's so different being local and coming and staying down here instead of driving down in the morning and driving it home at night. Last night we rode Grizzly River Run. We were like some of the last people to get on it right before they closed it for like World of Color to start or whatever. And the fact that we could just like get on a ride and get soaking wet and then instead of having to like walk to the shuttle wet, and then ride the shuttle wet, and then walk to the car through the parking lot wet, and then drive home wet and uncomfortable for 45 minutes or an hour, and then like get home late and be like wet and uncomfortable and shower. Instead of any of that, we literally just a 5-minute walk. We're in our room, able to shower and change and get cozy, and it was perfect. So we're spoiled now. We're definitely going to want to do this again. And that's kind of the hard part of having done this, is now it's going to feel less fun to drive down here and not stay the night, but it is so worth it, especially if you're like making an occasion out of it or doing a vacation, to stay down here. The Grand Californian also, in my opinion, is the best hotel on property to do it at. I know that it's more expensive than the other ones, but the amenities seem better to me. The pool area is the best. There's no way that the other pool areas beat this one. The menu by the pool is fantastic here. Like, everything about the experience is great. And it's not just Celeste and I that love it. Lila loves it too. So anyway, that's been our experience here. We adore it. It's been great. And hopefully that helps if you're considering staying here and doing this. Just give some clarity for like what to expect. I think the early park entry for us was the biggest curveball that we weren't expecting or didn't know what to do with. And now if we do this again, we will play it differently in the Disney early entry mornings and not participate because I'd rather sleep and be cozy and hang out a little longer in the room than deal with all of that. Which would also, it would be a curveball for Starbucks too, so I'd have to figure out something else for coffee on that day. But anyway, take all that for what it's worth. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.